Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is your host with the biggest nose, JC Courtside, coming at y'all today on Monday, January 5th. Guys, it has been a long time. I know I told y'all that I would be back last Monday, but instead I took somewhat of an extended vacation. My apologies for that. It was much needed. In case you guys don't know much about me, I'm not going to get too far into it. We have been grinding basketball content as far as my documentaries on the Jay-Z Uncut documentary YouTube channel, and then the Jay-Z Courtside, the podcast channel that you are listening or watching right now. We've been doing the podcast channel since the basketball season started, like literally a week before the season started. I started the daily podcast. But as far as basketball content in its whole, I started end of March, and I've been grinding that harder than I grind in the club. It was a lot of work, and I genuinely needed another week of just time off. So if I do stutter a bit more, if my stats are a little bit off, believe me, before today's episode, I studied for like over an hour to make sure I was fully caught up with everything. Now, I was still watching the NBA in the middle of my cruise. I was still watching the NBA when I got back last week. I just needed another week to sort of reset and just get back to the passion that I have for the passion wasn't lost for basketball, but my brain was sort of fried beyond belief, and I just needed to stop watching a ball bounce on a court for a little bit. Just for a little bit. I love basketball. That will never change. And remember, guys, we have like 6 more months of the NBA. So me missing Christmas time, it won't happen again. It might happen again. But 6 months is truly nothing in the grand scheme of all of this. Because we got January, we got February, March, April, May, June, all the way through July with no breaks. I'm going to be going to some playoff games, and I'm still going to bring my laptop. I'm going to bring my mic, and we're still going to be recording episodes. We may not stream those live like we do on a daily basis, Monday through Friday on Twitch. Jay-Z Uncut on Twitch. We do that Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern. Not many people doing it live like me, but we're back. We're locked and loaded, and I'm ready to have a great we call it the second half. The real second half of the NBA season is like after the All-Star break or the trade deadline, but we're going to just call this for the rest of 2026. Now, we have some very interesting episodes that we're going to be doing this week. Today, we're going to be starting off. You guys know how we usually do winners and losers of the NBA weekend. Well, today we're going to be doing the winners and losers over the last 2 weeks. I asked my Discord server, I said, what would you guys prefer? And they told me, the majority said, we would like you to kind of summarize the last 2 weeks. I feel like that's more eventful than just the weekend, restricting it to the weekend, right? At least take advantage of my absence. And then throughout this week, I don't know exactly which day I'm going to be, probably tomorrow, we're going to be doing my NBA bold takes. We're going to be saying some hot takes that I think aren't crazy. And it's going to be through 2026, not just this season. So, for example, just like other things that I could see happening in this calendar year, okay? We got a lot of stuff to talk about, y'all. And we got to compress it under an hour. We don't want to be here that long because the first episode back should not be anywhere near that long. I got nothing left to say. We got to get right into today's episode. But before we do, be sure podcast listeners, leave a 5-star rating and review. If you're in the TikTok stream, be sure to keep double tapping that little screen of yours. Make sure to spam the likes up as well as the YouTube stream and Twitch stream. All y'all got to do is sit back, relax, grab your cup of coffee, and enjoy the show. Let's get started with the winners of the last 2 weeks. My number one winner is none other than the Beantown Boys themselves, the Boston Celtics. Now, I had a feeling that my Celtics fan in the Discord truly wanted some Boston talk when he said, I want to hear you talk about the last 2 weeks. And it was sort of biased, right? Because something from the Boston Celtics has been brewing. And I would like to just say, when I start off this segment, right? I just got to say it. I said at the beginning of the year that Jaylen Brown, he was one of my 2 breakout players going into the season. You guys can pull up the tape. You guys can look back at my predictions for this episode for this year. And I said 2 players would sort of explode. One was Andrew Nembhard. I was sort of wrong about that. Injuries, I I honestly thought, even regardless of the injuries, I thought Andrew Nembhard would be showing us way more after the playoff performance that he gave us last year. But another player I said was Jaylen Brown. I said, and I quote, Jaylen Brown is going to have a monstrous year. And holy moly, I was not expecting this. I got to be honest with everybody. I said he was going to have a monster year. I was not expecting this. 30 points per game, 6.5 rebounds, 5 assists, a steal, half a block, shooting 51% from the field and 37% from three-point land, all while a 60% true shooting. This is with starting next to Jordan Walsh. This is starting next to Hugo Gonzalez, Neemias Queta, Pritchard, Derek White. The efficiency that Jaylen Brown has been showing us this year has been disgusting. I was not expecting this. He's getting to the free throw line a lot. I believe he's top 5 at getting into the free throw line this year. Jaylen Brown has been nothing short of spectacular. His mid-range is incredibly improved. His three-point consistency has improved, especially with the rate he's shooting it. His defense looks pretty okay. It's looking pretty okay, but that's because he's doing pretty much everything on the offensive side. Now, let me just say this. The Celtics have won, is that 8 out of their last 10? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, they've won 7 of their last 8. They have won 7 out of their last 8 and 7 of their last 10. Now, that's incredible. That is truly remarkable. What the Boston Celtics are doing right now, Jaylen Brown should be in MVP talks. He should. And another very important detail that I want to show you guys are the standings. They're the standings, ladies and gents. In case you are unaware, the Boston Celtics are half a game behind the New York Knicks for the 2nd seed. So Jaylen Brown's MVP talks are very valid. They are half a game behind the New York Knicks, which means, we'll talk about it later, but the Pistons and Knicks verse each other today, which means if the Pistons can win on the second night of a back-to-back without their second All-Star, your Boston Celtics will be the 2nd seed in the East on a year that was supposed to be a gap year, on a year that they were missing Jason Tatum. Because all of this has been said without Jason Tatum, their actual MVP candidate player. Now, I'm not expecting Jason Tatum to come back and average 28 a game, play 40 minutes a night. That's not happening. If Jason Tatum is truly going to come back, it will not only be the second fastest return time off of an Achilles injury, but it's a player that I think will be just fine after the Achilles injury. I think Jason Tatum's going to come back and he's going to average anywhere between 14 and 17 points per game. And I think he's going to prove to be just a great decoy next to Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown, this is your team right now, my boy. This is your team. When Tatum comes back, you're not going to have the identity crisis of, ooh, I don't know if I should take this. Ooh, I don't know if I should take over right now. No, the team knows right now, this year, we're riding Jaylen Brown until the wheels fall off. And that is more than fine because everyone around him is doing absolutely incredible as well. Now, when you look at the Boston Celtics, they struggle at one thing. It's moving the ball and it's rebounding. And it's pretty obvious why those are sort of the fall off between this team. Neemias Queta is not a huge guy. He's averaging 7.7 rebounds per game, but they're at the bottom of the league when it comes to assists. They're in the second bottom half of rebounding. But here's the thing. They're 6th in blocks, 7th in field goals made, 9th in field goals attempted, 10th in field goal percentage, 2nd in three-pointers made, 2nd in three-pointers attempted, and 7th. This is the most important detail. They're jacking up threes, but they're hitting the majority of them. They are shooting 37% from 3, which is 7th in the NBA. It's been a sight to see. It's been a truly sight to see. Joe Mazzulla can convince me to run through a wall. I'm not sure if you guys have ever watched Attack on Titan or anything. No spoilers in the chat because we do have some people who are watching it right now. But Joe Mazzulla sort of reminds me of Erwin Smith. If they tell me run through a wall, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. And I think the Boston Celtics could get a little bit better throughout this season. I think they could go get a big man. I think they can go get a serviceable big from another team. I think they can get another facilitator because, you know, they're not leading. They're not good as far as spreading the ball. Dude, they moved Tingus Pingus, which is great. They moved Drew Holiday. They moved, or they let Al Horford go. They got rid of multiple starters from last year, and they are in these conversations. Shout out to the Boston Celtics, man. I can't give them enough love. They are doing it, and they are doing it well. I'll tell you guys this much. I would hate to verse this team in a 7-game series. And that's without Tatum. That is without Jason Tatum. I would despise going up against this team. And I actually saw a comment in the TikTok, and they asked, would you say Rudy Gobert could help? Absolutely. I think Rudy Gobert would be like the absolute perfect big man. The guy that just gets rebounds, just blocks shots and affects shots around the rim. I think Rudy Gobert would be perfect, but unfortunately, they're not going to risk a contract that size to join this team when they still have Brown and Tatum on the books. I don't think that they want to invest that much into their center. As good as Rudy Gobert would be for this team. I want to read this comment from a Sun fan in my Twitch stream. He said, Das Gas said, JB turned into one of the best two-way wings in the NBA. The hardest defense assignment on a nightly basis while also pouring in 30 a game. I'd like to disagree with that one comment. Just because I've seen it, you know, Suns fans, you guys might not be watching every Celtics game, but as far as what I've noticed, they sort of assigned Jordan Walsh or Derek White on the primaries. When the Pistons play against the Celtics, they don't have Jaylen Brown on Cade. They have either Derek White or Jordan Walsh or Hugo Gonzalez or just other people double teaming Cade. The reason why their defense is really good is because if they do force a switch with Jaylen Brown on their primary, it's not that much of a loss. It's not that much of a loss. But Jordan Walsh typically guards their primary. And that's another guy that I've been gassing up all year long because he's been so good. But over the last 2 weeks, he's sort of calmed down a little bit. I want this team to get a young, springy center. I want this team to get a young, just rejuvenated, juiced up, beefy center. That guy that just jumps out of the gym. I don't want them to get an old declining center. I don't want them to invest too much into a center that can do pretty much anything. I want them to get a nice, young, springy center, but those aren't really all around the NBA right now. So I'm going to move on. I think Daniel Gafford is my number one pick for this team. I think Daniel Gafford, if you can convince the Mavs to get off of him, I think that would be absolutely perfect. I think that would be absolutely gorgeous for this Boston Celtics team. Just all running to the rim, get you a rebound, get you a block. I think it's great. I think Daniel Gafford would be perfect. But we can talk what ifs when we talk about our trade episode, which is coming probably at the end of this week. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's move on to my second winner of the last 2 weeks, and that is the SAS, the San Antonio Spurs. The San Antonio Spurs, y'all. The San Antonio Spurs have won 10 out of their last 13 games. The Spurs, I think they just won. They just lost actually on Saturday against the Portland Trailblazers. I was watching that game. What I can tell y'all about this team, right? The San Antonio Spurs. The reason why they're my winner is because of the level of degree of the wins that they got while I was gone, right? They beat the Thunder 2 times while I was gone, right? And I watched one of them. Now, I watched the Christmas one because it was on at the bars in the middle of the cruise ship. And it was just, it's so funny watching this team, y'all. It's so funny watching this team because they are doing everything that people said would be next year. They are doing everything a year ahead of schedule. The San Antonio Spurs, even without Wembanyama, are still a top 4 seed in the West. Without Wemby in the majority of those games, they were still winning. And now with Wemby, they've been going even crazier. I just need to read you some of these stats because when you look at this, They are only weak in one area, two areas, and I'll get to that because one, it's not in the stat sheet. They're 6th in points, 2nd in rebounds. They're sort of lackluster in assists. 20th in field goals attempted. And here's the one thing that I told you on paper that they lack, and it's 3-point shooting. They are 20th in 3-pointers made. They average about 13 threes a night. But here's another stat that I think they lack that will show in the playoffs, and that's because they have little to no experience. Now, something that I've noticed with this team is that their vets aren't really vets, if that makes sense. Now, hear me out. De'Aaron Fox hasn't had success in the playoffs, right? He was on the Kings. He hasn't had success in the playoffs. So yes, De'Aaron Fox is a veteran in the NBA. He is not he's not like the typical veteran in the NBA. For example, like a Duncan Robinson, who is on the Detroit Pistons. He's played 70 playoff games. He's had 2 finals appearances. Now that is a veteran playoff experience, and he knows how to perform under pressure. De'Aaron Fox has not performed under pressure since that Warriors series, 3 years ago? 4 years ago? I think 4 years ago now. And then you can look at Harrison Barnes. Harrison Barnes has not done anything in the playoffs remotely in 10 years. So that, in my opinion, that is not veteran leadership in the playoffs. He can get you into the playoffs. The way he's helping you, he is instructing these young guys on how to play. But it's sort of like Tobias Harris, okay? It's sort of like Andrew Wiggins in a sense of they're good hoopers. They know what they're doing. When in doubt, ride them out. But in the playoffs, that's sort of their kryptonite. They're not the guy. They're one of many guys. And in their championships, in their success, they're one of the wheels that keep them moving. And in my opinion, they don't have a single guy on this team that helps bring that championship pedigree, that championship experience. You can't truly look me in the eyes and tell me Harrison Barnes has championship experience. He does 11 years ago. Fine, I can attest to that. And I see a guy in the TikTok saying, okay, did OKC have experience? Yes, they lost in the playoffs over and over again. They learned how to take that step forward. You are looking at a San Antonio Spurs team who 95% of the players have never sniffed the playoffs before. So yes, they are ahead of schedule. They are ahead of schedule, but I think there's just 2 glaring faults with this team, and that's okay. That's okay. You learn these things. 3-point shooting and lack of playoff experience. People in the TikTok are screaming at me saying, what are you talking about? And I think everything I've said is completely valid, and I bring factual evidence. Let's go over it. De'Aaron Fox does not have playoff success. Devin Vassell has never been to the playoffs. Stephen Castle has never been to the playoffs. Victor Wembanyama has never been to the playoffs. Harrison Barnes has not been in the playoffs in 10 years? Julian Champagnie has never been in the playoffs. Luke Cornett has been in the playoffs. Keldon Johnson, I think he's been in the playoffs. Dylan Harper, never. Jeremy Sohan, never. Kelly Olynyk, that doesn't count. Carter Bryant, who? Lindy Waters III, he went to the playoffs last year with the Pistons and with the Warriors. Jordan McLaughlin, no. David Jones Garcia, good two-way player, but no. Bismack Biyombo, are you kidding me? Harrison Ingram, who? Riley Minix, who? So like I said, the one thing that the Spurs team lacks is something that they'll learn this year. Playoff minutes matter. Now, again, I do have to regurgitate this because I feel like people think that I'm hated on the Spurs. I love the Spurs. They're a great story. And that's what I think they'll continue to be going into the playoffs. Now, they are the 2nd seed right now in the West. And I will not be surprised if they lose in the first round of the playoffs. And that's not like a knock towards their skill. They have the skill. It's all about experience. Because let's just look at like last year, for example, the Houston Rockets, right? As good as they were the 2nd seed in the West. And they lost. So it's not a knock towards them. It's like a props to the opposer. Because when you look at this team, let's look at the NBA standings right now. The Spurs would end up versing the Phoenix Suns right now for what happened today. I like my chances with the Spurs taking out the Suns. Regardless of playoff experience, I like that. But if you were to change it with the Warriors, and I know the Warriors are sort of butt cheeks, I don't think you can look me in the eyes and confidently tell me that the Spurs would beat them without a doubt. Without a doubt. So, like I said, the San Antonio Spurs, great story. I love to see their come up. They are ahead of schedule. And I want to see them continue to evolve because this season should be nothing except evolution. continue to get better, continue to rise. And I think you're looking great. They've been great. Let's move on to my third and final winner of the last 2 weeks. And then we're going to get into the losers, y'all. So be sure to lock in because we got some hot takes coming up. All right. And if you guys are in the TikTok stream, be sure to swing on into the Twitch stream. I'm talking to you, Jared, Recovery, Jay Rain. If you guys are enjoying the Twitch stream, the TikTok stream, be sure to switch on over to the Twitch stream. That's JZ Uncut on Twitch. Just click the profile picture, click the link in my bio, come through and get involved in a basketball community. We'd love to have you over here. Now, my third and final winner of the last 2 weeks are the Phoenix Suns. Speaking of the Suns, the Phoenix Suns. I think this goes without saying, talking about the Phoenix Suns for my final winner of the last 2 weeks. They have won 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 7 out of their last 9 games. Now that's good. They've won 7 out of the last 9 games. The Phoenix Suns have looked great. And as of yesterday, they took down the defending champions, Oklahoma City Thunder. The Suns have looked good. They've looked really good. Now, I have some very important details to go over because we're not gonna stay on the Suns too long. I want to give credit where credit is due. Devin Booker has not looked good from 3 this year. I'm pretty confident this is his lowest 3-point percentage shooting from his rookie year. Yeah, he's shooting 29.5% from 3, and yet they're doing this well. He's averaging 26 a game, 6.5 assists, 4 rebounds. He's shooting 46% from the field and 29% from 3. Not great percentage-wise, but he's truly the leader of this team. But when you look down the rest of this team and you see a Dillon Brooks, who's been absolutely incredible. One of my favorite players to watch all year. Dillon Brooks is averaging 21.5 points per game. He's shooting 34% from 3. He's looked great. You look at Royce O'Neal shooting 41% from 3. Grayson Allen, who's been a great 3-and-D player, averaging 16 points on 40% three-point shooting. Colin Gillespie shooting 42% from 3. Ryan Dunn, Jordan Goodwin with his career game last night. This is all without Jalen Green, who is coming back, 2 weeks from now? When Jalen Green comes back, he's going to fix most of the issues that I'm about to talk about right now, man. They are 20th in points. That will be solved with Jalen Green. 23rd in rebounding. That will help with Jalen Green. Not help, it'll get better because Mark Williams and Nick Richards, say what you will, they're good big men, but they're not starting caliber big men. 21st in assists. That will help with more scoring options. First in steals, they play those passing lanes. 24th in blocks. Again, those centers have not been great for them, but they've been serviceable is what they've been. Okay. This team right now, they need secondary scoring. And with that is Jalen Green. And when you get Jalen Green back, hopefully they don't rush him back. They rushed him back the first time, but man, did he look good in those games. Jalen Green is going to look great for this team. And I truly believe that Jalen Green's going to come back and show out. I think Jalen Green's got a lot of stuff to prove. And I mean, hey, in that game and a half that he played earlier in the year, my God, did he look good. My Lord, did he look good. He wasn't Cade Cunningham, but he looked good. He looked really good. So with the Phoenix Suns, again, I just have to give credit where credit is due. They're over under. The casinos literally had this team at 32.5 wins. 32.5 wins. Ladies and gentlemen, they're at 21. They had them at 32.5 wins. I think it's safe to say that if you took the over, good for you, because you're going to win a lot of money. The Phoenix Suns remain right now in the 7th seed, and I'll be talking about the play-in, and I'll be talking about the playoffs a little bit here when we go into our losers, but I just got to give credit where credit is due, man. Shout out the Phoenix Suns. They've looked absolutely incredible this year. Honestly, blew all their expectations out of the water. This is all without true competent big men. This is just big men that are there. Mark Williams, with all due respect, Nick Richards, with all due respect, they're good, but they're not starting caliber centers on a playoff contending team. Again, Dillon Brooks, Colin Gillespie, Grayson Allen, they've all been doing it by committee. And I love watching this Phoenix Suns team play. I love watching them play. They beat the Thunder last night with a game-winning 3 from Devin Booker over Alex Caruso and others. It's so funny. I was watching this game last night and I was like, man, why are there so many late games tonight? And during one of the commercial break, I don't get commercials, but I'm like, I have League Pass, so I'm just seeing all the celebrations happen during a timeout. I'm like, my God, let me just go on TikTok and scroll. This game is really good. Let me just burn some time and scroll on TikTok real quick. I start scrolling and I see Devin Booker hits game winner and beat the defending champions. And I was like, what? When was this? And then I check my TV and I see that I'm 30 minutes behind. I don't know why, but I was 30 minutes behind watching this game. So I got spoiled on TikTok about the ending of this game. And I had no idea. I was watching this game 30 minutes behind. But hey, I mean, what's his name? What's his name? What's that dude's name on this team? I'm blanking on him. Jordan Goodwin, career game. Shout out to the Phoenix Suns. Now, ladies and gents, we are moving on into the losers. TikTok, again, if you guys are enjoying the stream, you would enjoy it so much more in the Twitch stream. Nilhow, Robert, be sure to swing on into the Twitch. Drop a follow over here. Just click the link in my bio or just look up Jay-Z Uncut on Twitch and come enjoy the show. Guys, let's move on to our losers of the last 2 weeks. I hope this doesn't come as a shock. My number one loser of the last 2 weeks are the Los Angeles Lakers. I think this goes without saying, right? They are 5-5 in their last 10 games. 5-5. They beat the Memphis Grizzlies after trailing for both those games. They got 2 easy Grizzlies wins against them. The Los Angeles Lakers are the 3rd seed in the West right now. They're tied with the Nuggets. They do not look good. They do not look good. In fact, I would go far and say I hate watching this team play basketball. And I love basketball, guys. I love basketball. I will watch whatever the hell's on. I But when I see the Lakers, I don't want to watch this. Let me just read you some of their stats real quick. Okay, I'm going to show it on the screen for everybody watching. They're 26th in the rebounding. They don't rebound the ball. They're 24th in assists. They don't pass each other the ball. They're 28th in blocks. They don't play defense. They're 21st in field goals made. 29th in field goals attempted. 2nd in field goal percentage. 25th in three-pointers made. 23rd in three-pointers attempted. 26th in three-point percentage. This team right now, especially Luka Doncic, you can tell me he's great. He is. You can tell me he's fun to watch. He's not. I'm not a Lakers fan, but I'm also not a Lakers hater, right? If the Lakers are good, I'm not upset at that. Like, I hope for every team to have success, except for one team, but I will not share that publicly. Luka Doncic right now is leading the league in free throws per game. Okay? He's leading the league in free throws per game. He's averaging 34 points, 8 rebounds, almost 9 assists, 1.5 steals, great percentages, shooting 32% from 3, but 46% from the field. I'm going to say something, okay? I'm going to say something, and I hope this does not upset anyone here, okay? I'm not saying, and before you jump down my throat, don't pause on that. Before you jump down my throat, I've been watching the NBA every day for the last, let's say, 19 years. 19 years. Let's say that. I'm 27. I'm not going to lie to you and say that Luka Doncic is bad. He's not. I'm not going to tell you that Nico Harrison was right. But what I will say, I don't blame him for trading Luka Doncic. Now, before you jump down my throat, let me explain myself. I think Nico Harrison only messed up by not making it public that Luka Doncic was available for trade. That was the one thing that Nico Harrison messed up at. He should have, not publicly, but told the other GMs, hey, I'm thinking of trading Luka. Give me your best package. And then he should have just shopped around. He could have got way more than just Anthony Davis and Max Christie. He could have got way more. You probably could have got Giannis. You probably could have got Shea. Okay, let me relax. You're not getting Shea. You probably could have got whoever the hell else. Every team would have thrown everything at you. But instead, you traded Luka Doncic in secret. You did not make him available. You traded him and didn't share any of that news with anybody. Oh, but Luka Doncic is hurt. Stop. I'm going to swear here. So parents, if you got your kids in the car, mute it. I'm warning you. Stop fucking playing in the summer. You fucking idiot. Stop it. I understand you love basketball. I understand it. But stop playing in the summer. Stop playing competitively in the summer. What are you doing? Eurobasket, FIBA, whatever the hell else, the World Cup. Stop playing in the summer. If you are not going to allow your body to get better, then you can't. Is it just me? Or whenever the Lakers are getting cooked or Luka's having a dog shit game, all of a sudden his shoulder, my shoulder's hurting. His knee, it's hurting. I'm 0 for 11 from 3. My knee is hurting. Luka Doncic is too great of a player. Too great of a player to be putting on this show about complaining. Bro, he gets the foul call. He complains that he was fouled hard and that it should be a flagrant. He doesn't get the foul call. He complains that he didn't get the foul call and doesn't get back on defense. Bro, I was watching last night. He jumped into, who was it last night? I forgot who was shooting the 3. It might have been Gigi Jackson. Gigi Jackson was shooting a 3. And Luka bit on the pump fake and landed on him, like fully landed on him. And he's complaining. Bro, Luka, if that happened to you and you didn't get that foul call, you would have lost your mind. And now you're still losing your mind that you got called for that foul. I see a guy in the TikTok saying, I'm done listening to you. You don't know ball. LOL. I don't think I'm saying anything egregious. I think Lakers fans are just sensitive about Luka Doncic. Now, if I remember, I feel like Lakers fans were talking exactly about Luka right now like they were a year ago when he was on the Dallas Mavericks. It's only when they're on your team that you are forced to root for this, because I assure you that if you are any fan of any other team, I am not a Lakers hater. I am a Pistons fan. I don't mind the Lakers. We see them twice a year. I do not hate the Lakers by any means. I root for 29 teams in the NBA. The Lakers are one of them. And is it just me? I hate to beat a dead horse here. Is he getting fatter as the season progresses? That, like, genuinely, I can't tell. Is Luka gaining weight as this NBA? Because I saw what he looked like at the beginning of the season. Do you guys remember what he looked like at the beginning of the season? Like, he was sort of cut. I feel like he's gaining weight throughout the season. And I don't think I'm crazy for saying that as well. I don't know. I just don't know, because I remember seeing him at the start of I truly don't understand what I'm seeing. Now, I can talk all day about Luka Doncic, and the reason why they are my loser of the last 2 weeks is because, Luka, you are the leader of this team. You are the leader, right? You are the best player on this team, right? You're the best player. If you're not playing defense, nobody else is going to play defense, okay? So everyone pointing fingers at LeBron, bro, he's 41. How old is he? He's 41? He's 41 years old. He's not going to be your best defensive player. In fact, he should be your worst defensive player, and yet he's not. Luka is by far not just the Lakers' worst defense. He is the worst defender in the NBA when Trae Young is not playing. No offense to Trae Young, of course. Last night, he had a great game. I'm not talking about individual games. He had 36 points, 9 rebounds, 8 assists. He had a great game. 10 for 20, 13 free throws. That's fine. 4 for 10 from 3. That's not bad. As far as defense goes, it is bad. Guys, I got to share this again, man. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is a pretty good defender. He's pretty good. But guess what? He's all around great at basketball. Nikola Jokic, nobody blames him for being bad at defense because he's still okay at defense. He plays the passing lanes and he's very smart. Okay. He's very smart. He may not be blocking shots and getting up there, but he reads passing lanes. Plus, Nikola Jokic is a champion. Okay. Cade Cunningham, two-way player as a point guard. But I think the best, I don't think this is crazy to say, Cade Cunningham is the best blocking point guard in the NBA right now. You can look at point guards all throughout the NBA, compare all of them. And as far as starting caliber star point guards, Luka Doncic is the worst defender out of all of them. Now, I'm saying this as a basketball fan. I enjoy basketball so much. But watching players like Luka in the regular season, I'm sorry, I'm tired. I'm tired. And I'm not talking about his basketball. I'm talking about him. Why are you complaining every time down the floor? Offense, you're complaining. Defense, you're complaining. And it's affecting your team. It's affecting your team. I see fans calling him, is it Chuka or Chucka? I think you guys are calling him Chucka, right? I see that all the time on Twitter. I see it all the time. And truly, like, I gotta be honest, y'all. If that's winning basketball, just dribble down the floor, step back three, dribble down the floor, step back three. It didn't work for Harden. I don't think it's going to work for Luka. I don't think it's going to work. I'm not saying Nico Harrison was right. He traded him in the wrong way. He should have shopped him around. He should have shopped him around. He shouldn't have just traded him in secret. I just don't know if this is going to work. People say that jacking up threes or just chucking up threes worked in Boston. With all due respect, Boston was at least moving the ball around. Luka just dribble up, step back three. Dribble up, step back three, complain. And what I will say, they are still without Austin Reeves. But Austin Reeves isn't going to improve your defense. Okay? Listen, I don't want to offend Lakers fans, right? That is not my goal. What I do as a podcaster, what I do as an NBA talk show, right, is number one, I appreciate basketball, right? That's my motif. That's my motto. I appreciate basketball. And sometimes, man, Luka makes me hate this sport. It's taken Harden, prime Harden, to a whole nother level, man. If it leads to a championship, I'll shut up. I will go back and I will say, hey, remember on January 5th when I came to the full realization after watching for months and months and months? Will I say on January 5th, I said this about Luka Doncic and I was wrong? I will. I always admit when I'm wrong. And if I'm wrong about Luka, I hope I am, because Luka's too good of a player. He's way too good of a player to be making a fool out of himself lately, man. He's way too good of a player. I'm rooting for the Lakers. I truly hope they do well. The West is looking pretty tough right now, but I'm wishing luck. I am wishing them luck. And if you are in the TikTok and you are enjoying the stream, I see a lot of people are very angry, saying you not making no good takes. You can't speak proper fucking English and you're talking to me. TikTok, if you guys are enjoying the stream, be sure to get away from idiots like Core in the TikTok stream and swing on into the Twitch. That's Jay-Z Uncut on Twitch. That's the purple app. If you guys want to come and tune in and to join a real basketball community, a community of Pistons fans, Kings fans, Suns fans, Heat fans, Bulls fans, because those exist, be sure to swing on into the Twitch stream. That's Jay-Z Uncut on Twitch. Get away from the idiots over there, because right now Core is making all of y'all look bad. In my knowledge, what I see right now, all TikTok viewers are idiots, because you guys are sitting there with Core. So be sure to swing on into the Twitch stream. Join the intellectuals, join basketball knowers. That's Jay-Z Uncut. The link is in my bio. Let's go ahead and move on to my second loser of the last 2 weeks. And it pains me to say this. The Denver Nuggets. It pains me to say this. Whew. The Denver Nuggets have lost. Let's count them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They have lost 6 out of their last 9 games. And unfortunately, it's because they're missing their MVP caliber player, Nikola Jokic. Unfortunately. Nikola Jokic is out, and he's going to be reevaluated in 4 weeks. Now, they just got back Christian Braun and Aaron Gordon, but they are missing the key component. They're missing the engine, and that's Nikola Jokic. You cannot lose 30 points a night, 12 and a half rebounds, and 11 assists per night. The whole offense runs through this man. The whole offense. The whole team is orchestrated. The whole team was built around this one man. And now without him, it's not going to be good. 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 They had Christian Braun and Aaron Gordon on minutes restriction last night, and they lost to the Brooklyn Nets. Then it was pretty bad. They lost by 12, but it wasn't that close. Now, I want to give my praise to Tim Hardaway Jr. He's been really impressing me. He was not doing any of this in Detroit last year, mind you. I think he dropped like 26 points last night off the bench. I think he had maybe one or two games, maybe one 26-point game with the Pistons all last year. So shout out Tim Hardaway Jr. You always have a fan in me. I'm rooting for you over there, man. See, when you look at this team, the Denver Nuggets, you're sort of surprised that they're even the fourth, like tied for the third seed in general, because they're 20th in rebounding, 29th in steals, 29th in blocks, 25th in field goals attempted, and 22nd in three-pointers attempted. This team, I'm scared. I'm scared for them. I'm truly scared for them. Let's take a trip down the standings and let's just look. The Denver Nuggets right now are 2 games out of the play-in. 2 games. 2 games. And the scorching hot, I don't mean this as a pun, the scorching hot Suns, who have won 7 out of their last 10, are only 2 games behind them. The Miami Heat just put 147 on them. That's right. But they are just 2 games out of the play-in. Now, Nikola Jokic is not going to be out for just 4 weeks. It's probably going to be 5 to 7 weeks because he's reevaluated. Ladies and gents, boys and girls, the Nuggets are 2 games out of the play-in. 2 games out of the play-in. 2 games. This is bad because this just went from bad to worse. I could very well see the Nuggets falling into the play-in until Jokic gets back. I could very well see it. And then you have to start considering, man, can they beat the Spurs in a first-round series? Man, can they beat the Thunder in a first-round series? It starts getting confusing, man. It starts getting confusing. So I don't need to dive too deep into this reason. But that's why the Denver Nuggets, for me, are my second loser of the last 2 weeks. Losing Jokic is not good. Now, I'm not too worried about them long-term because, as you guys know, I said in the beginning of the year, I said the Nuggets are my pick to win it all this year. That's what I said at the beginning of the season. So that's not going to change. I still have the Nuggets winning it this year. They're my pick. This is the best team the Denver Nuggets have ever had in franchise history. And I think last year they could have beat the Oklahoma City Thunder. It went to 7 games. They didn't have Aaron Gordon, and Michael Porter Jr. was injured as well. The Denver Nuggets have their best team in franchise history, led by one of the best players in NBA history. The only team, in my opinion, that is standing in their way is, just like last year, the Oklahoma City Thunder. And it's so funny that I see people saying that I'm dumb in the TikTok, because you're looking at the Denver Nuggets team that took OKC to 7 games. You're looking at the team that, if they had Aaron Gordon, things probably would have went different. If they had a healthy Michael Porter Jr., things probably would have went different. So when, sorry. Okay. Yeah, that reminds me. Twitch chat, podcast listeners, I am not reading the TikTok chat anymore. We will only be reading the Twitch live chat from here on out, because I just got told that Denver is not beating the San Antonio Spurs, the same San Antonio Spurs team that has 0 playoff experience. Apparently, Denver is not beating the Spurs. So just like that, we are done reading the TikTok chat for the rest of the day. If you guys want to talk hoops, be sure to swing on into the Twitch stream, because we are no longer interacting with the TikTok. Just minimized it. So if you guys want to interact with us, if you guys want to join the basketball community, if you guys want to join a community of, Twitch chat is all laughing at the TikTok right now. So like I said, if you guys are enjoying the stream and you want to talk with me and you want to talk with the rest of the community, be sure to join the Twitch stream. That's JZ Uncut on Twitch. The link is in my bio. We are no longer looking at the TikTok chat. So if you guys are enjoying and you want to interact with me and the rest of the community, that's laughing at you right now, be sure to come through to the Twitch. So that'll be my last point on the Denver Nuggets. Let's move on to my final loser of the last 2 weeks. And I'm sorry to say this because I see my one Hawk fan in the Twitch chat right now. My man Craig Kelly, I apologize, but your Atlanta Hawks are my final loser of the last 2 weeks. The Atlanta Hawks have lost 8 out of their last 10 games. What happened? What happened? You can't tell me Trae Young came back and their team went to shit, because it went to shit before Trae Young even came back. They were the fun team that everyone was grouping up: the Detroit Pistons, the Orlando Magic, the Miami Heat, with the Atlanta Hawks. At the start of the year, I was being told that the Atlanta Hawks, that the Miami Heat, that the Orlando Magic were all going to jump the Detroit Pistons. I was told that. I was told at the start of the year, the Atlanta Hawks, the Orlando Magic, and the Miami Heat are all jumping the Detroit Pistons. What the hell happened? Well, they lost Trae Young and they started playing incredible. They started playing super well. They started playing well. They started winning games. Their defense locked in. And then all of a sudden, defense fell off a fucking cliff. They got Trae Young back and the defense fell even harder off that cliff. And then Trae Young is out again and they have still continued to fall down that cliff. Bees did. Now, let's go ahead and look at this team. And now I gotta like explain this to y'all, because something does not make sense around here. Something doesn't make sense. They're 10th in points, 25th in rebounding. That's okay, right? 1st in assists, 6th in steals, 16th in blocks. That's fine. 5th in field goals made, 10th in field goals attempted, 6th in field goal percentage. They're 7th in three-pointers made, 5th in three-pointers percentage. Why is this team so bad? Why are they so bad? And that's because they give up the most points in the NBA, other than a couple teams here and there. They are not playing any defense. They are inviting you to score in the paint. Jalen Johnson is doing so much on offense that he's not giving you anything on defense anymore. Let's be so real with ourselves. Jalen Johnson is leading them in their 3 categories: points, rebounds, and assists. Jalen Johnson is looking like a bona fide superstar in the next coming years. But unfortunately, around this team, man, it just ain't looking good. And let me tell you the real reason why the Atlanta Hawks are the losers of the last 2 weeks. And that's because of one name and one name only, ladies and gents. And that's Trae Young, the lollipop head. That is Trae Young. Let's look at his stats from this year. He's averaging 19 points per game. You ready? Less than 9 assists, 1 steal. He is shooting 41% from the field. That's not a typo. 41% from the field. And he's shooting 30% from 3. That is even worse than last year. Now, you're probably wondering, why does this make them? It's quite simple, ladies and gentlemen. They didn't extend Trae Young. They didn't give Trae Young his super max extension that he was demanding. He's got a player option next year. What team do you think is going to look at Trae Young and say, hey, I want that 5'11", 6 foot on a generous day. I want that point guard to lead my team to the promised land. Because let's look at the teams that need a point guard. Let's look at the Minnesota Timberwolves. Do you really think they want to take a hit on their defense that badly by adding Trae Young into the mix? No. Do you think the Houston Rockets, who are the biggest team, the biggest stature-wise, physically-wise, do you think they want to add Trae Young to their team? No. Do you think the Orlando Magic, this is the only one that can make sense for me in a hypothetical world where Trae Young isn't shooting 30% from 3? Because I'll tell you this much, I guarantee most of y'all didn't think he's shooting 30% from 3. And I know what a lot of you guys are saying. He's been hurt for the most of his year. It's fine. That's not his real 3-point percentage. Look at last year, bro. Look at last year. He shot 34%. He is only getting worse. He is regressing. He's regressing in real time. He shot 34% from 3. Even the hypothetical version of Trae Young wouldn't work on the Orlando Magic. It's not working. Now, when you look at this team and you're trying to tell me what are they going to do with Trae, I would say trade him. That's the only thing they can do. But what value does a point guard who plays no defense, he can't shoot anymore, and he can't create his own shot anymore without foul baiting, what does that bring to a team with championship aspirations? Not much. Whew. Shout out NAW. Shout out Jalen Johnson. They're both doing their thing. I wish Detroit got NAW, but man, this team is not looking good. I build around Jalen Johnson. That's fine. That's fine. You can do that. But honestly, I'm more so worried about, oh man, it's not great. It's not great. He's got his player option, and I still think he might pick it up. Because he's not getting a contract based off this year. Am I right or am I wrong, ladies and gents? He's got a player option. I think he's going to pick it up. And then they'll move him for an expiring contract. All of that, plus he's injury prone. Correct. All right, y'all. That concludes the winners and the losers of the last 2 weeks. As you guys know, we did 2 weeks because I was gone for the last 2 weeks, but obviously I was still watching hoops. Let's go over a little extra details that have been going around the NBA, y'all. You can tell me what you guys think have been going around the NBA, but in my opinion, I want to just talk about some minor details here and there. Scotty Barnes got a nice triple-double. Shout out Scotty Barnes. Joel Embiid in his last 7 games has been averaging 29 points per game, 8.5 rebounds, and 1 block per game. Is Joel Embiid back? Denny Avdia gets his second in franchise history in 25-point triple-doubles. 29 points, 11 rebounds, 10 assists. How many free throws? Only 11. And something that's going very, very, very under the radar. Shout out to Anthony Davis. Dude, this year in the games he's played is averaging 20.5 points, 11 rebounds, 3 assists, 1.5 steals, almost 2 blocks, 52% from the field, and 29% from 3. Anthony Davis has looked great when healthy, man. And my final extra piece of note, shout out to Beef Stew Isaiah Stewart from the Detroit Pistons, who won Eastern Conference Defensive Player of the Month after averaging over 2.5 blocks in the month of December. If you guys want to see some defense in the NBA, man, I highly recommend you to go to the Pistons Twitter and watch some of the Isaiah Stewart highlights, because man, that dude is ridiculous. Also, shout out to Dennis Jenkins of the Detroit Pistons. He scored 21 points last night in the second quarter against the Cavs. And he was perfect. He hasn't played in like 4 games because Marcus Sasser was beating him out. Karis LeVert was beating him out. Dennis Jenkins, after not playing, a two-way player, came in and dropped 21 points after shooting perfect in the second quarter against the Cavaliers. I'm being told that Paolo Banchero is also back. I'll have to fact check that. Let me go look at Paolo Banchero right now. Against the Indiana Pacers. Yep, he had 28 points and 12 rebounds. I am not shouting out Paolo Banchero. I am not shouting out Paolo Banchero after doing that to the worst team in the NBA. Sorry. Let's ignore his 26% shooting from 3 and 45% from the field. Let's just ignore that. Shout out Norm Powell for sure. Shout out to Big Norm. Big Norman Powell has been going crazy. Shout out to Big Norman Powell. He dropped, I think, like 8 threes on the Pistons. He went ballistic. Shout out Norman Powell. Any other shout outs that I'm missing, ladies and gents? Let me know if I'm missing out like some other shout outs, because like I have no idea. If there's any other shout outs that you think I missed, be sure to let me know. Yeah, that's really all the details. RJ Barrett, I haven't heard anything. Is he back? Is he playing well? Anthony Black's been balling. I like him. Tyler Hero, nah, that's Anthony Black most improved. Are you telling me that you want to give? Isn't Anthony Black in his second year for the team? You can't tell me he's MIP. Isn't his second year? Second years can't win MIP. I feel like Anthony Black, this is his second year, right? Bro, he's averaging, dog. Okay, this is his third year. And he's averaging less than 16 points. Okay, Anthony Black is not MIP. Let's move on. Yeah, Trey Murphy is the franchise leader in 3-pointers made for the New Orleans Pelicans. You guys want to get depressing? Let's do that. Oh yeah, the Clippers are back. While I was on my cruise, the Los Angeles Clippers are back. Let's go ahead and touch on them real quick. They had a game last night, right? Oh, no, on Saturday, right? The Clippers are somewhat back. They might make the play-in. The Clippers are back. Shout out Kawhi Leonard, because in his last 6 games, he was averaging 41 points per game. Shout out Kawhi. VJ Edgecombe has been hooping again. Shout out to Lack. Yo, big shout out to the homie Lack. He's not an NBA player, but he did just leave the TikTok stream and came through to the Twitch stream. As you guys know, I'm no longer reading the TikTok chat. I'm only reading the Twitch. So, yo, Lack, big shout out to you for leaving the TikTok and coming through to the Twitch stream, my boy. In case you don't know, if you watch 3 Twitch streams in a row, I will gift you a sub and you will get ad-free viewing for a whole month. Okay, that's all the little extra detail. Oh, I forgot to press the thing. That's all the extra details I have for y'all in today's episode. I forgot to press this. Except, y'all. Tonight, you guys want to know what my game of the night is? What's the game of the night, ladies and gents? It's on NBC and Peacock. Be sure to tune in. It is the Detroit Pistons hosting the New York Knicks for the first time this season. Former first round playoff series last year. They have not played each other since the playoffs last year. And tonight they are playing in Detroit. And I believe New York is favored to win this game. Part of the reason being Detroit had to play in Cleveland last night. So they had to play a close game against the Cavs last night. The Pistons won. The New York Knicks are on a 3-game skid. Now, mind you, I was going to pick the New York Knicks as my winner of the last 2 weeks if the last 3 games hadn't happened. I believe the New York Knicks are going to be without Josh Hart. I don't know who else they're missing. If they're still missing Mitch Robinson, that's going to be tough for them as well. But what I will say is the Detroit Pistons are missing 2 starters and their backup playmaker in Karis LeVert. They are missing Tobias Harris and our second all-star, Jalen Duren. Now, if you guys have watched the Pistons, fun little fact for y'all before we move on. The Pistons, since 2023, are 6-25 without Jalen Duren. Just letting y'all know. They were 5-25 yesterday, but they beat the Cavs without Duren. And he is the Pistons' second all-star this year, and they are going to be without Jalen Duren again today. He'll be reevaluated in over a week. Him and Tobias Harris will be reevaluated in a couple weeks. So they are 6-25 without Jalen Duren. We'll see if they can manage to beat the New York Knicks. We shall see. Ladies and gents, boys and girls, that's going to do it for today's episode. Of course, as you guys know, Twitch streams stick around. We are going to be ending the YouTube and TikTok. So YouTube and TikTok, if you guys have enjoyed the stream, be sure to swing on into the Twitch stream. Again, that is Jay-Z Uncut on Twitch. The link is in my bio. Link is in my bio. Be sure to swing on into the Twitch. Podcast listeners, be sure to leave a 5-star rating and 5-star review. It really helps a lot. Guys, it's good to be back. Today was a long podcast, 58 minutes. We'll be back tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Eastern. Twitch chat, be sure to stick around. We are still live over here. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I got nothing left to say except for thank you for being here. Thank you for being you. And as always, guys, thank you for watching/listening. We will be back tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Eastern. And boy, oh boy, does it feel good to be back. I'll see y'all tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Eastern.